Okay students, so today we are going to start a new chapter, the stress management, which is a part of self management unit. Okay, so what is stress? So normally stress is a situation under which we go into a stage of hypertension. Okay, suppose we got a lot of stress in our work. Suppose in your uh, age you get a lot of stress during your exams. Okay, these things are called stress management. Suppose you haven't completed the syllabus, or the syllabus, or you haven't studied properly before exam, so you get some kind of stress. So that is called stress. That type of tension, that type of worriness, that anxiousness, that anxiety. Okay, that is called stress. Okay, and it causes many different behaviors of your body. Okay, we will learn in this chapter what changes it makes to our body, what good effects, what bad effects. There are no good effects, obviously there is only bad effect in our body due to stress. And also we will learn how to manage them, and also we will also learn the biological functioning behind our stress. Okay, how the stress of our body works, how the stress just starts. Okay, so over here it's written, the challenge that we face becomes so big for us that our mind and body starts feeling the heat of it. The challenge becomes a headache then. Such a state is known as stress. Okay, so over here it is written that in our lives, when we encounter a situation that challenges us, our body and mind reacts in a certain way as a response. Okay, suppose we got a challenge, so our body and mind will immediately start reacting. This response sometimes helps us get past through those events and come out as victors. Okay, obviously these reactions that our body and mind will give, they are useful for us because they are the only, what should I say, they are the only things that actually will help us in our future or in that situation to make us victorious. Okay, but due to that also we engage in our stress. Okay, due to that also we engage in our stress. So that is, you can say, both it is good and it is bad. If you don't have stress, if you are just casual, then you will fail in examination. But if you are stressed, so when you are stressed, what you will do, you will study suppose one paragraph you cannot learn, so you will read it 100 times, 150 times you will read it, then it will be put inside your mind. Okay, so that will increase the chances of your passing the exam. Okay, so stress is sometimes good and sometimes obviously bad. Okay, so that's why stress can be divided into two types of stresses. One is good stress, another is bad stress. Okay, so good stress refers to the limited quantity of stress that helps one keep focused and motivated to something, as I've told you just right now. So suppose you cannot learn one thing. Suppose let's talk about maths. Okay, suppose you cannot just understand one sum. Okay, you cannot just do one sum. So what you will do, you will practice that sum so much that it will just be mixed with your blood. It will just be mixed with your blood, such that in any time that sum appears in the exam paper, what you can do, you can just immediately within 5 minutes you can just complete that sum. Okay, so you just practice it so times, 10 times, 20 times you can practice it. Why you practice it? Because you are casual? No, because you are stressed. Because you are stressed due to your examination, because you are stressed that you cannot do that particular sum by your own. You are stressed due to that. Okay, so due to that stress you are motivated, you are challenged by your body to do that sum. Okay, due to that stress, due to that worriness, what you do, you practice that sum many times, such that it becomes so habituated to your body, the sum. Okay, such that whenever you see that sum, you can just do it in 5 minutes instantly. Okay, so that is one good point of stress. This kind of stress is called good stress. Okay, which helps our body keep focused and motivated and just coordinates everything inside our body, which is also obviously the good stress. Okay, now comes the bad stress. Now bad stress, we know, obviously bad stress haven't come inside your point of life till now. Yes, some people has, some kind of students has experienced bad stress in many situations, but maximally in this age you don't experience that much of bad stress. When you experience that much of bad stress, when you become above 20, then you experience this bad stress. Okay, in many aspects of your life you experience this bad stress. Okay, in your job life you experience bad stress. Suppose in your job life, the boss of your company, suppose you are a private worker, you work in a private company, a private firm. Okay, there, suppose the boss just puts a load of work over you, and the salary is not as expected. The salary that you get is not as expected, and your boss is so rude and so furious to everyone, every employee in the company, such that you can't even approach your boss to tell, sir, please, can you increase my salary, can you think of my increment, or can I expect something more from the company. You can't even tell those words because you fear the boss. Why? Because immediately when you tell these words, you expect that he will scold you in front of everyone, he will insult you in front of everyone. Okay, due to that you cannot also tell that. So these things, this mental clashing inside your mind, whether I will tell or not, whether I will do this job or not, whether I can take all the workload or not, these kind of 3-4 types of mentalities clash in your mind. They just go under a collision inside your mind, and that creates a stress. And this kind of stress leads to many other symptoms, like heart attacks, like mental strokes, cerebral strokes. Okay, like high blood pressure. Okay, those medical symptoms, biological symptoms, these arises from this kind of stress. And this kind of stress is naturally experienced above the age of 20, when you actually get a touch of the real world, when you go out from the roof of your house and you get a touch of the real world, then you experience the stress. Okay, then you experience it when you become an adult, and when you just you are a financially free person, you're free from everything, you are an independent person. Okay, you are not dependent on anyone anymore. Okay, when you are an independent person, yes, independent, we all want to become independent, but there are some responsibilities also that we have to take to become independent. Most importantly in today's world is the financial responsibilities. Okay, and many others are there. Main is the financial responsibility. So due to that, 90% of your stress will occur. Due to that financial responsibility, 90% of your stress will happen. Okay, it is fact. It is a result of many researches. It is fact. 90% of your stress will come from money. Okay, this is fact. Nothing can be done about it. So this can be called as a bad stress, obviously. So bad stress refers to a stress that is ongoing and does not lower down. Okay, that means it will not settle down any near in your life. Okay, it will keep on increasing. Okay, you will take sessions after sessions of counseling, but nothing will happen. If you are stressed on some topic, your mind will constantly hit you whether to do that or not, your mind will be in a dilemma. Suppose you want to leave a job because the boss is so strict, so rude, so furious, but you know that, suppose you are a person of age 50, let's say, a very realistic example I'm giving. Okay, you are a person of age 50. Okay, so now at present when you are at 50, suppose the company's sale has lowered so down, and the boss is so furious on all the employees that the boss has reduced almost all the salary to half. Okay, suppose a person who gets 50,000 salary, he now gets 25,000 salary. Just 50% reduction in the salary. See how much is it. You will understand when you are going to earn. When you are going to earn, you will understand how much it feels like when you get 50% reduced of your salary. Okay, you will understand that. So suppose in that situation, at the age of 50, a person experiences this kind of things, like his boss is so rude and so furious, and over that he reduces 50% of his salary. Now the person is in a dilemma. 3 types of dilemmas work in his mind. One dilemma, he goes to the boss and asks him for an increment of his salary. Okay, but because of that, he may get in return, he may get increment in salary if the boss agrees. But one another possibility or one another probability is that the boss will scold him and insult him in front of every other employees and workers in that company. Okay, that is a huge insult. It's a huge insult of a worker or an employee in a company. just in front of other workers. Okay, that hurts so much. Okay, now the second thought that going on his mind is he will leave the company. He will just leave the company. But when he thinks of leaving the company, he's two types of thoughts, two types of possibility run in his mind. One is that whether he will get another job at the age of 50. When you experience that position of your life, you will realize that it is so hard to get a job at 50. No one will just accept your resume. Why will a company's boss or a company's HR accept a resume of a person who is 50? Because he knows that after 10 years he will be no more eligible to work. Or at all now, if I recruit such a person inside my company, suppose I have a company, and if I recruit a person of 50 in my company, he has become so much old that he cannot do some of my works. He will get tired. He will get tired with little bit stress. Why will the company take? He will take a young man, a man of 20-25. That HR will take. Why? Because that man of 20 to 25 age, he is full of energy. Why will he take a 50 years old man, just double the age of 25? Why will he take? Because he will not take. Why? Because he is a very old man. Okay, so what will happen? He won't give that full effort to the company. He won't be able to. He won't be able to give that full effort to the company because he will be lacking energy inside his body. Okay, so that 50 years old person has to think of that also, whether I will get a job or not. He suppose his children's responsibilities are on his head. His children's responsibilities are on his head. His family's responsibilities are on his head. So that is a huge stress. Okay, so these kind of stresses are bad stress. So some symptoms of bad stress are lack of sleep. See, those are written. Lack of sleep, heart problem in focusing. See, sleep, insomnia, lack of sleep, it accumulates in your body, it accumulates, it keeps on accumulating, and after that it becomes to insomnia. That means you won't be able to sleep. You won't be able to keep your eyes closed for even 1 second. It will feel like irritating. It will feel like just irritating when you will close your eyes. In case of insomnia patients, okay, there are patients suffering from insomnia all over the world. They can't sleep at night. Not at night even, any time in the whole day they cannot sleep. Even taking high doses of sleeping pills, they can't sleep. They can't sleep. Okay, you will think that, oh, that is very nice, if we don't sleep we can work all the time. But one thing you need to remember, your brain needs rest. If you don't sleep day after day, if you don't sleep, if your body doesn't let you sleep, what will happen? Do you know? Your body will just collapse. Each and every muscle of your body will collapse. Your brain will just shut down. After some time your brain will just shut down. It will be just blank and you will just feel unconscious. You will just feel unconscious. Just that will happen. This is how it will end. So it is a very extreme case. Very extreme. Insomnia is a very extreme case of lack of sleep. There are heart problems, as I've said, heart attacks, cardiac arrests, problem in focusing. You cannot focus at some point. Suppose you are doing sums, but your mind is distracted, all time distracted. Okay? So these kind of things, weight gain or loss, obesity or weight loss. Suppose someone is taking huge tension, so his weight will lose. He will lose weight. He can't eat well. Okay? Weak immune system and many others. Obviously, immunity becomes weak. All types of diseases will attack him or her first. Okay? Even a small fever will make him so weak. Even a small fever will reach 105 degree Fahrenheit, 104 degree Fahrenheit in his body, because it will make him so weak. Loss or gain in appetite. That means he will lose the feeling of hunger. He will lose the feeling of hunger and he will just eat less food. He or she will just eat less food. Irritability. That means he will get irritated by each and everything. Even if you tell a good thing to him, he will still be irritated because of that good thing. Memory loss. Obviously, he will start forgetting things. And last one is depression. Most common, depression. Will go into depression. He will not talk with anyone. Start crying anytime. Like those. Needs for stress management. Obviously, there are infinite needs for stress management. because stress is not a good thing, so you have to manage it. So what are the needs for stress management? Maintaining health, obviously. If you take stress, your health will begin to go down. The curve, suppose your health is a graph, the curve of the graph will go down if you take stress. If you go to a doctor's chamber and the doctor realizes that yes, you are in stress, doctor will tell, don't take stress. At least for your concern, your health's concern, your family's concern, don't take stress. Because if something happens to you, then the doctor will make that person understand that if something happens to you, then your family there will be no one to take the responsibility of your family. Okay, if something happens to you, if some major health problem happens to you, no one, if some accident happens to you, no one will be there for your family. So you have to understand, you have to reduce your stress to keep your body functioning properly. Improving mood, obviously, mood is always important. Suppose suppose a old friend of yours, suppose you are now at 30-35 age, and some old friend, some school friend of yours, he called you just to talk. Just he got your number from someone, and he called you after 20 years, let's say after 20 years he called you. So if he calls you and he tells you his identity, will you scold him? Will you be furious to him? No, obviously not. He will be greeting him with good mood. You two will be discussing all the old memories of your school. But if you just scold him, if you just cut the call on his face, what will he think? He will think that yes, my friend has become so rude, I cannot even understand if this is my friend or not, cannot even recognize. So he will think bad of you. That is the reason of improving mood. Boosting immune system, obviously, as I've told you, a small fever will make such a huge disaster. You can't even think if you take stress, okay, because immune system will go down. Okay, your immune system will go down. So to boost your immune system's performance, what you have to do? Take less stress. Improving productivity, obviously. Suppose you are doing some work, taking a huge lot of stress in mind, it is 90% assured that out of 100 things you do inside the work, 90 things will be wrong. Out of 100 things inside the work, 90 things will be wrong. Suppose you are currently noting down some numbers. Suppose you are currently solving one assignment and you are in a huge lot of stress. It is just expected that 80 to 90% of all the answers you give in an assignment are always wrong. Because under stress, your performance, your accuracy will decrease a lot. It will decrease a lot. So to improve accuracy, that means improving productivity and creativity, you have to take your mind out of stress. Okay, and many other benefits are there. See, it is written in the last point, many other benefits. There are innumerable benefits of reducing stress. Okay, so we should keep that in mind and keep our stress level low. Stress management technique. One is physical exercise. Now you will just start seeing some biological terms over here. I think you have already read those terms in class 10's biology also, or you will be reading, but over here you will be just getting a brief overview of those terms. Okay, physical exercise helps boost up production of our brain. Okay, yes, obviously, physical exercise, what does it do? Stimulates your brain. It stimulates your brain. See, when you are in a stress, suppose you are working throughout the night, so like right now I am, see, now it is like 1 a.m. Midnight. Okay, so I am working. If I feel asleep, what will I do? I will make some coffee or tea for me and I will have it. Why will I do that? Because that coffee or tea is called a nervous system stimulator, and a stimulator is just opposite of a nervous system depressant. Like alcohol, those are nervous system depressant. They depresses the nervous system. They reduces the speed of the nervous system. They make the nervous impulse slow. That's why it feels like that your sensation has been lost, your body is not in balance. That's why it feels like that. But when you take the tea or coffee, what is inside tea or coffee? If you don't know, I will tell you. There is a small chemical compound called caffeine inside your tea or coffee. In the caffeine is considered as a nervous system stimulator. That means it stimulates your nervous system. It increases the speed of the impulses inside your nervous system. okay, your nerve impulses. It increases the speed of the nerve impulses, which makes your body feel more energetic. And because your body is more energetic, it will feel less tired. And because your body will feel less tired, you will feel that you are not sleepy anymore. That's why when you have to work throughout the night, what you do, you make a tea for yourself, make a coffee for yourself, a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. What will that do? It will help you keep awake throughout the night, okay, if you do something late at night. Then so the physical exercise does the same thing. It does the same thing. See, it actually boosts the production of a neurotransmitter. Neuro means nerve, transmitter means transmits the signals. Neurotransmitter called endorphin, okay. Neurotransmitter chemical is called endorphin. That endorphin chemical is released from the brain, that stimulates all our muscles, that stimulates the brain, okay. That is a hormone, okay. The endorphin is a hormone. So this endorphin, what happens, this endorphin will help us feel more energetic, okay. It will make our body feel more energetic. See, endorphin are in the note, see, endorphin are our body feel good chemical. Endorphins are our body feel good chemical. That means we will start feeling good with our body with the help of endorphins that are released in brain and help us cope with stress. Obviously endorphins will reduce stress levels. Next, dopamine and serotonin are other such good chemicals released in our body. Now dopamine is called a happy hormone. Dopamine is called a happy hormone. Suppose I will tell you what is the when dopamines are released. Suppose you are giving up, you are being given a puzzle. Suppose I have given you a Rubik's cube to solve. Now you are solving the Rubik's cube. Now suppose you have successfully solved the Rubik's cube. Now the feeling inside you that will be generated, the happy feeling inside you that will be generated, that feeling is due to the dopamine hormone. Yes, you have successfully solved a puzzle. You have successfully solved a puzzle, a riddle, or a Rubik's cube. That feeling inside you is caused by this hormone dopamine, okay. And serotonin is more, almost similar to that dopamine hormone. It's also responsible for happiness inside our body. These are all feel good chemicals inside, feel good hormones inside our body. Next is sports. Sports, again same thing. Sports is nothing but it's physical fitness. That means you are doing physical exercise by doing sports, which will keep your brain healthy. Obviously your body will be healthy, but the hidden secret behind your body being healthy is your brain being healthy. When you do sports, when you perform sports, what will happen? That endorphins will be released inside your body. Your brain will feel good, it will feel energetic, okay, and all the stress will get reduced inside your body. You will feel relaxed, your body will feel relaxed. So sports playing is always good, okay. Yoga, obviously same thing again and again. Yoga is one kind of physical exercise, you can say, okay, physical form of exercise. So there also, when we stretch our body, too flexibly we stretch our body, we again release some endorphins from our body. Inside our body some endorphins are released that makes us feel good, okay. Same kind of thing. Then meditation is sitting in a relaxed posture and clearing all your mind. Suppose in meditation you just close your eyes, sit in a straight posture for let's say 30 minutes. What will happen? It is just a kind of a restart button in your computer, okay. It will restart everything inside your body. Not actually it is restarting, but you can just conceptually say your mind is getting restarted, your mind is getting resetted. That means all the functions that are running inside your mind, it will just get cleared. If you can do meditation, if you can get a spare time of 30 minutes in your whole day, you can sit on your bed and just keep a straight posture, close your eyes without any distraction in your ears, no mobile phones in front of you, okay, no one calling you for anything, just 30 minutes of your own time. You will see how refreshed you will get. That reduces your stress level. Taking breaks, obviously. Now suppose you are doing a 9 to 5 job. Now your boss is so furious that you fear to take any breaks, okay. Your boss is so furious, so rude, that you fear to take any break. Suppose you take a break, you take a lunch break even. Suppose you go to eat some lunch, and you are thinking that my boss will scold me, insult me in front of every employee, that why I am going to eat. why I am eating tiffin for so long. Okay, so don't think of that. Take breaks. Okay, taking break is very important. Suppose you are doing work at home also, take breaks after doing 1 hour or 2 hour of continuous working, because your body will get stiff, your spinal cords, everything. Suppose you continuously do some work in front of your computer by doing keeping a straight posture, what will happen? Your spinal cord will become stiff. You need to relax, you need to bend your body. You should not keep your body at a particular posture for longer time. Okay, actually there are also biological effects of that. There are also many biological effects of that. The blood clots. A case was that I heard one case. I am not just elaborating it very much. Just I will tell you in short that I heard one case that in some other foreign countries there was one gamer, okay, who just played a video game on his PC, personal computer, for 23 hours or 22 hours something, 20 hours, without eating, without going to toilet, without going to bathroom, anything, without using the washroom, nothing. Not eating, not sleeping, not using washroom, nothing. Okay, he just sat on a particular posture, that is sat on his chair, that gaming chair, and went on playing games for 20 hours, almost one day. Okay, without eating, nothing. Okay? Not eating, nothing, not sleeping, not even using the washroom, nothing. Okay, what happened when he completed his game and he went up? Okay, he obviously he was exhausted, he was feeling hungry, he was feeling to use the washroom, and when he got up from his chair and just stepped one step from his chair, he almost collapsed. He totally collapsed. And his family members does what? They called the ambulance. And after the ambulance, the paramedics, there are in foreign countries the paramedics checked that the boy was dead. On spot, when he fell, the boy was dead. That was due to a clot in his leg, a clot of blood in the vein of his leg. Okay, so due to that, a huge portion of blood was emptied from his heart. Okay, and that's why his heart and brain, they stopped receiving oxygen, and that is the reason for his death, instantaneous death. Just when he went up, that bubble got into his heart and instantaneous death. Okay, that was the reason. See, such a simple reason. So that's why taking breaks is very important. Nature walks. Now, going to walk, suppose you have a park in front of your home, go and sit on that park, walk. Why it is important? To see nature. While seeing nature, our body has a inbuilt, that means it is it is just inherited from the ancestors. Those apes, when we were apes, when there was no person, there were only apes, there were only gorillas, those kind of things. The apes, we came from apes actually, evolution of apes. So those apes, they used to live in nature. So nature is in our blood. Okay, seeing those green leaves is inside our blood. It feels so soothing when you see green things. When you see greenery in front of you, you feel too much soothed. Your body feels too much soothed. That is why nature walks are very good. Holiday and vacationing. Obviously it's important. Suppose you are continuously doing work 365 days. It is not a good thing to do. You have to take yourself to some vacations, to suppose a sea beach or a hill station. And when you have your family, obviously your family will expect you to take them in vacations. Suppose when you will be having so much responsibilities, when you will be having kids, what will happen at that time? At that time, those kids, they will be studying in school and they will want a little bit break from the school. When their summer vacations will come, when their winter vacations will come, they will expect from you. So you have to keep their request, you have to keep everyone's request inside your family, obviously yours also. Okay, so holiday and vacations are very important. That means break from work for suppose 1 week or 2 week, very important it is. Throughout for your whole year, it is so much important, you won't even think of. For your whole year, you will just get exhausted doing same work every single day, every single month, every single week. You will get bored by doing that same work when you get a job. Tips for students for managing stress. See, these are almost for you. 90% or 100% I can say these are for you. Social factors, peer pressure, balancing academic life, social issues like bullying. See, normal thing what I want to say is social factors. That means social bullying. Suppose someone of you is not so much good in studies. Should the others who are good in studies bully him or her? No, it is not. It is not needed. Why will those who are good in studies bully him or her? Okay, because those who are good in studies, they are studying some general knowledge from their subjects also. They are studying some moral values from their subjects also. So what does that moral value teach them? Does that moral value teach them to bully someone who is weak? No, the moral value doesn't teach that thing. Okay, so the one who is learning, who are good in studies, they should apply their studies in their real life also. Okay, so that is what is the perfect application of the studies that you study. Studies that you study are not for keeping that in brain and vomiting in the exam. They are meant for keeping that inside your mind and use in your daily life. Okay, other academic peer pressures. Peer pressures means rat race. Today the education system is totally a rat race. Okay, that means suppose there are two students, one student is competing another, another student is competing another. Okay, like that thing. It is a completely a rat race now. Academic factors like pressure of work, deadlines, increased workload. Suppose 3 assignments are being given from your school, you have to submit it by tomorrow. What will happen? You will be so much stressed. You have to join classes, you have to go just write the assignments, you have to take tuitions, everything you have to do. You have to eat, you have to sleep, everything you have to do. So how can you manage so much thing in 24 hours? 24 hours is very short for that. Other factors, commuting problem, financial problems. Obviously, you know, all of you have some kind of, everyone, this is common in everyone. We are not at the level of Mukesh Ambani that we can hold iPhones at an age of, let's say, 5 years. Okay, we are not that rich, so we always have some financial problem. Commuting problems means, suppose let's say your school is very far away from your house. You have to change 3-4 buses to reach your school. This will happen when you, so this commuting problem will be faced by you when there will be you will just face it when you will be in college. Okay, because you will have to change 3-4 buses. Then you will realize what is the actual problem. In case of jobs also, same case. Okay, same thing goes for jobs. Where you suppose you got a job in Salt Lake and you stay at Behala, the normal average time to go from Behala to Salt Lake or from Salt Lake to Behala is approximately 1.5 hours to 2 hours. Okay, depends on road traffic. Okay, these are the other factors, expectation management and so forth. What is the expectation management? Suppose your parents are expecting a good marks from you, but you are not able to give your total performance on your studies, and you are not able to give those good marks to your parents. So there will be an expectation management also. So your parents will be expecting more from you, but you won't be able to give more to your parents. So there will be a clash there will be a collision in between the two mindsets. That means one mindset of your parents and another mindset of you. So that is also a cause of stress in students. In nowadays life, it happens the most. In previous days, in let's say 15 years back, there was no such rat race, no such competition. Parents wouldn't even force their students to study in such a rat race that he has to do greater than him or her. Okay, like that. That wasn't there. Yes, that was there. Very rare, very rare. Out of 100, there was 5, 6, 7 or max to max 10. But today, nowadays, out of 100, it's almost, I can say 95. I can say 95. So that is a problem. Next, let's come about whatever may be the cause of stress, student may follow the tips. So the tips that you must follow, that are advised for you, are proper time management. So time must be managed. Suppose you want to play games, yes, play games, but keep a time, keep a schedule every day. Suppose you want to play games, you want to play some cricket or football with your friends, okay, it's okay, it's very good to play, it's very good to have sports. As we have seen, sports reduces stress. Okay, so take 2 hours time or 1 hours, 1.5 hours time, let's say from 5 to 6:30, play outside. Okay, then come and study. Okay, it's not like that one day you play from 5 to 6:30, another day you play from 8 to 9:30. No, not like that. Okay, keep your life scheduled, a disciplined life. Okay, so that will lead to your success. That is one thing. And also in your schedule, obviously you should keep breaks. Suppose in your schedule, when you go to class 12, you have to work hard, you have to daily, you have to study almost at least. Suppose you take up science, you are a science student now, so at least the minimum required studying time for a class 12 science student is approximately 5 hours per day. Okay, minimum at least 5 hours per day. Okay, maximum you can study 8 hours, 9 hours. If your patience is there, then you can, but at least 5 hours is enough. Not enough, actually, I will say. At least you have to maintain 5 hours, so such that you will get good marks. Okay, so those inside those 5 hours, you cannot just keep studying through 5 hours. No, it's never possible. So keep 2 hours study, 1 hour break, again 2 hours study, again 1 hour break, again. Then suppose at night you can study 1 hour, no problem. So there will be intermediate breaks between your studies. It's very important. Break is also very important. Okay, physical exercise, as we have told, they release endorphins, because physical activities release endorphins in our body, which are happiness hormones. Okay, those induce happiness in our body. So you may practice any physical exercise for almost half an hour for one day, per day half an hour. And if you go for a playing with some cricket or football with your friends, then it is included. The physical exercise is included within that playing. Okay. Next thing is positive thinking. Always think positive. Okay. If you even don't have a preparation for your exam, think positive that yes, you will pass in exam. Don't be overconfident. See, being overconfident and being positive, both are different. The two are different. Overconfident means yes, I will pass. I will not study each word. I will not study even a word from the book, and still I will pass. That is overconfidence. But suppose by any case I haven't studied, I haven't even opened the book, but I still keep a hope that I will pass. I have the capability of passing this subject. Okay, at least by doing anything, at least by covering the whole book throughout the night, I can pass. That is called hope. Hope is good. Overconfidence is not good. Okay, overconfidence is never good. Hope is good. Yes, keep hopes. It's very good. Okay? It's always expected. You should keep hope, and hope is nothing but a positivity, a positive thinking. Okay. Next is go step by step. Obviously, everything should be done in steps. It is a rule of divide and conquer. I don't know if you have heard this rule or not. One rule is there in your world. It's used by many. It has been used. It has been used by many kings who have ruled in our countries, who have ruled in on this world, over this world. Okay, the divide and conquer strategy was used by many kings. That means if you have a big problem, divide it into smaller portions, solve each of them, then combine the solved portions, get a huge solution. Okay, that will make your life extremely easier. Okay, so that is called divide and conquer strategy, which follows the strategy of go step by step. Actually, in easier words, I can say go step by step, but if I go into depth, you will feel that yes, this going step by step is nothing but the divide and conquer strategy only. Okay, next is act smartly. Don't do anything stupid. Act smartly. Everything, everywhere, always you have to put up a smart attitude. Okay, spend a relaxing time. Again, relax for some time. Okay, enjoy with your friends, okay, with your family, or enjoy watching a movie, let's say. Enjoy watching a TV show, some cartoon, anything. Enjoy watching some sports on the TV, some favorite sports you like, football, cricket, anything. Okay, enjoy playing some mobile games also. Anything you can just spend by it. Your leisure time, you can spend it like however you want. Okay, take good diet. Yes, obviously it's needed. Suppose you continue studying but you don't eat anything. Suppose you don't eat any protein, what will happen? The cells inside your body will start to die. Then what will happen? You will be suffering from memory loss, many other physical deprivations you will be having. Okay, so due to those deprivations, what will happen? Your memory will automatically become short, the storage space in your memory, not your phone's memory, your own memory, your human brain, that will not be that much usable. What will happen? All the studies that you have studied, they will all be lost from your mind. Okay, so good diet is also very important, especially protein diets. Okay, that will help you build your body for your future careers. Okay, because you have to work hard in future, and also you have to work hard right now. Okay, so, and obviously to avoid stress, you have to. So if you don't eat anything, so your body will be inside stress of itself. So your stomach will give stress on your brain, because your stomach will continuously hit your brain. I am hungry, nothing has been put inside me, nothing has been put inside me, like an alarm, like a morning alarm. It will continuously knock your brain. Okay, so your brain will get disturbed, it will get stressed out, and obviously if your brain gets stressed out, you will get stressed out. Obvious thing. Okay, so take a good diet, very necessary step for having no stress. Okay, so this was our self management skills, and stress management also. Okay, this was a chapter for stress management. So I think you people understood this chapter. It was a long video though, so if you have some patience, go through the video, you will find some interest also. You may find some interest also in this chapter. Okay, these are theory chapters, just so that to make you feel interested in this chapter, I have to tell you stories. But if I just read line by line, what will happen? You will lose the interest. Okay, no need, then my teaching will be wasted. So much of teaching, 1 hour 45 minutes teaching, will be complete waste. Okay, so that's why I tell some stories to entertain you. Okay, then thank you everyone.